This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Thank you very much to Minzy for letting me know about this. Now, yesterday, Anthony Joshua, I did a video on it. It will pop up at the end of this one, so sit tight. It will pop up if you haven't seen it already, where Anthony Joshua said that once the Wilder Fury rematch is done, he will be making an offer to Deontay Wilder, if Wilder, of course, wins, to make this undisputed fight happen. In other words, not to go ahead with the third fight scheduled for the end of the year with Tyson Fury. Now, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, these guys have already signed that contract. They are legally obligated to be taking that third fight. Okay, so there's countless ramifications for it, and that's all fine and dandy, but we're going to cover a lot of that as this video goes along. Now, Shelly Finkel, the manager of Deontay Wilder, the spokesperson for Deontay Wilder, has said to Anthony Joshua, don't bother, we're interested. And this is what Shelly Finkel had to say. Anthony Joshua, please don't make an offer to Deontay Wilder. He's frightened of you. We even talked him out of taking $100 million. That should tell you we don't want the fight. And if you keep on making us an offer, we're going to keep on having to respond, which means he's going to give away my location for the Men in Black to come take me back to Area 51. And of course, all the Deontay Wilder nut huggers, the delusional guys, are going to start coming up with new inventive ways of excuses for Deontay Wilder to duck you. So please don't make any more offers. Shelly Finkel statement. See, I get all the exclusives, you know. That's why you should be subscribed. Now, that wasn't really Shelly Finkel's statement. Fooled ya. Now, Shelly Finkel's statement did go along the lines of, don't bother making the offer, because I want Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury to go ahead with a third fight. They're contractually obliged, all that kind of good stuff. That will be in the source in the description box. Now, why would Shelly Finkel say don't bother? Well, it's pretty simple, isn't it? You don't want to fight. Now, I've heard quite a few people, the Wild Nut Huggers, say how Anthony Joshua only seems to be calling out Deontay Wilder when he's got fights penciled in. Okay, well, that's rich, considering that's always been the complete opposite way. With a Deontay Wilder was only ever interested when Joshua had a fight penciled in. There are paper receipts for all this. But suddenly now Joshua, he should sit back, not say anything for the next 18 months while Deontay Wilder gets on with his own business. Okay, in other words, don't give us undisputed, because we're not about fighting the best. The best should not be fighting the best and all this kind of stuff. This is what pretty much the Wild Nut Huggers are saying. Because how else is Joshua supposed to try and get this fight over the line? Because back in May of 2019, Deontay Wilder announced he will be fighting Luis Ortiz next. And then Tyson Fury. And then Tyson Fury again. So that's going to be keeping him out for the best part of 18 months. So he's pulled himself out of Undisputed for 18 months. And somehow you guys are okay with this. Even though you guys are always saying how you want the Wilder-Joshua Undisputed fight. Quite clearly you don't. Your boy turned down $100 million. He even had a contract on his desk. Turned it down. Didn't sign it. When he got offered that $100 million, didn't even try to negotiate. That's how much he didn't want the fight. But of course, Wilder, he has a history of avoiding killers, those who can punch very hard. Historically, he's done that. And we know Shelly Finkel, his manager, has very little to no confidence in Wilder, which is, again, there's paper trails for it, with Shelly Finkel even saying that when Deontay Wilder had 33 fights and won the belt. He's not interested in unification. He's still a baby. He's still a prospect. We shouldn't rush him. Yeah, Joshua, he just had his 24th fight, or 25th fight now. He should be ready, but Wilder weren't. Interesting, isn't it? So, all two-faced. Now, again, we can go back to the contract. Yes, it's a legally binding contract. If Fury and Wilder have signed this, then they have no choice but to rematch. If, for example, Wilder does win February 22nd and then doesn't honour the third fight, he's going to have to be stripped legally. He will have to be stripped of that belt. He will be fined, and he will subsequently have to retire from boxing. Remember, we covered all this when the Wilder Nut Huggers were saying to Andy Ruiz Jr., don't go fight Joshua in a rematch. Who cares about that one? This is unification. This is undisputed. That takes precedence. You remember all that? And what is it that we told you? No, that can't happen, because Andy Ruiz Jr. will get fined. He'd have to retire and get stripped of all those belts because he got a contract with Joshua. So now suddenly now, Wilder's in that situation with Fury. Suddenly now you understand, don't you? So, for me, no, listen, I don't expect Wilder to pull out of a third fight with Tyson Fury. Even if he wasn't scheduled to fight Tyson Fury, I wouldn't expect Wilder to fight him anyway. And of course, the Wilder nut huggers, these guys will be ripping off their little frilly panties and throwing them up in the air. How dare you talk about Deontay Wilder? How dare Anthony Joshua make an offer to Deontay Wilder? How dare he? Why? Because he wants Undisputed and your boy don't, and you're frightened to death of it actually happening. That's why. Because see, these guys, they talk about how they really want the fight and how Wilder's going to knock out Joshua. But in fact, the truth is, they don't have the confidence. This is why they keep making excuses for Wilder to avoid the fight. And Shelly Finkel is part of that. Shelly Finkel has just told you again, don't make an offer, Joshua. We ain't interested. In other words, we're ducking you consistently. Yet again, like we've always done. Joshua, get on with your own career. Undisputed ain't happening. In fact, the only way Undisputed is happening is if Tyson Fury gets that belt. It's the only way it's going to happen. Or Dillian Whyte gets that belt. While Wilder's got it, Undisputed ain't happening. Sorry, folks. It is what it is. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.